Okay. Says the recording is started and I'm supposed to let you know that they're being recorded. Just in case you want to not say something that you would normally say if we were not being recorded.
Okay. I'm actually looking for a button to agree to, I don't know,
Oh, it says something that you have to agree?
no. It says here, someone started recording.
Okay, good enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the sound quality is much better than when we are doing it on the laptop. I don't know.
Yeah, laptops don't have very good sound, but you know, you might think about getting some earphones for it. You know, some headphones. You know, you can pick those up pretty cheap, and that makes it pretty good.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed last week's session. I haven't gotten it up yet. I've been tremendously busy, fortunately, but I haven't. The notion of changing focus.
Yeah.
And just the focus is a good one. It's beyond the mind, right?
Yeah.
The mind will latch on to contradictions or trying to believe in what it thinks it can understand, which won't get you very far.
Yeah, the mind focuses on the objects, on the stories or apparent objects, the activity, what's happening in the news, what the news says about the world, how the world is. So the mind focuses on the story. But when you change the focus and focus on the space, just the space as it is, there's nothing to think about. There's nothing to do there. The mind is always looking for something to do, something to fix, something to think about. Then when you focus on the space, there's really nothing to do. There's really nothing to think about. This just this, you know. So when the attention is focused just on the space as it is, it is also seen that there's just this, which also what seems to be an apparent object are also appearing from this space. Everything is appearing from the space, which means everything is more like space. But in the story, when there's that experience of separation, it may seem as if they are real objects, they are real people, they are real things. But it's simply the space appearing as what seems to be objects. Everything is nothing, really. There are no real things except in the story. Yet the story is also this spaceless space as appearing as a story. So there's no division there. There's no this space and the story and the objects. There's just space appearing as objects. So everything is this. And this, as it is exactly what is being longed for. That which is seeking is actually seeking for this, just this. And this is timeless. There's no time. There's no yesterday, there's no tomorrow, there's no now. There's just this timelessness. And this isn't going anywhere. What seems to be going somewhere is already appearing from that which isn't going anywhere. So there's no real going anywhere. There's just this. Well, even words themselves can never really describe what this is. There is no suitable word to actually describe what this is. Because even what seems to be a description or somebody trying to describe is already just this. So there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to get to. There's no distance to cover. There's already no one in this who's doing anything. There's just this also appearing as somebody who's doing something. But somebody who's doing something is just a story appearing in this, which isn't doing anything already. So this is already not making any efforts to be anything. This is already not trying. This is already not uh, not expecting anything to happen. This is already going nowhere. It's not waiting for the next exciting experience. It's not looking. It's just this. There's no opinion here. There's no thinking. Even what appears to be thinking is already that which isn't thinking already. So there is nothing wrong or right in this, because everything is this. Even saying there must be something wrong is not wrong or right. It's just what's happening. Thinking that there's something to get is not wrong or right. It's just what's happening. Looking for something, doing meditation, reciting mantras is not wrong or right. It's just this already. Even when it seems, or even when it is seen that it's already going nowhere, when there is a meditation happening or an attempt to seek for something happening, even when it is seen that it's already going nowhere, it's okay. It's not wrong or right. It's just what's happening. Then there may be a recognition that there's actually nothing to find, and there's no one who was actually looking for anything. It was just already this spaciousness, boundless energy appearing as that, appearing as somebody who's attempting to look for something or to find something. So that's as it is. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's okay.
You make
Even
it
when
sound so
somebody,
silly.
yeah, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, and this doesn't suggest that there shouldn't be any seeking, and this doesn't suggest that they should be seeking. You know, so it's just what is. Whatever is happening is already an expression of everything. So who is separate from this to say this isn't supposed to happen? This is supposed to happen. No one. It's just this already. There's no real Gossi, there's no real Charles, there's no real world. So the seeker can never really find what it's looking for because there's no seeker. There's already that which is being looked for, expressing as a seeker. So there's there's no way to get to already. As they always say, what you are looking for is already where you are looking from. So there's no one to help. But if there is an attempt to help somebody, that's this too. It's not wrong or right. It's beautiful. Because the dream or the story is also an expression of this. So this doesn't mind. It doesn't try to suppress, to stop anything from happening. It doesn't try to get rid of the seeker or the me, because there's no me. It is seen that there's no me. It's not that there's somebody who sees. It is just this. This already. Even not seeing is still just this. There's nobody to see, and there's nobody not to see. I don't know how to put it.
There's nobody to be deluded.
Yes. Yeah. This is all that is. All that is. All that is thinking. All that is trying. All that is being quiet. All that is um, giving up. All that is asking questions. So there's no one who's looking from behind those eyes. There can be an imagination. There can be an imagination as a result of the knowledge in the memory that there's a male who was born in a certain location, grew up, went to a certain school. Now that one is here. But that's just the knowledge, that's just the story. And the imagination that what seems to be the body is that one who's sitting on the chair. That's all imagined by no one. But where is the story? Right now. Where is the story? It's my story. Where is the one who has the story? So I can also say that the one who seems to have a story is also just another story. The one who seems to be separate from everything is just another story, appearing from everything, appearing from this as this already. So somebody or something that seems to fall away, that's illusory. The falling away of somebody, that's an illusion because there's already no one to fall away. Because there's no one there already who is a seeker, who's seeking. So the seeker can never collapse or fall away because there's no seeker. There's just the totality, all there is already. The seeker is imagined. There's no brother, there's no sister, there's no daughter, there's no uncle, there's no auntie, there are no birds, no trees, no mountains, no world already. Everything is nameless. Everything is this, just this. Timelessly this.
Birds are going crazy behind you today.
Sorry?
The birds are going crazy behind you today.
Yeah, there are many. There are many. I think it's because of the activity. There seems to be more activity today than last week. There are some tents here, people who are selling things, and some decorations for Christmas.
I see. So they detect food. They think there's going to be food.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. So as well, the birds are excited.
You got crows. There's crows up there.
Yeah, there are crows, ducks, sparrows, pigeons, yeah, etc. Can name it. Yeah. They are very excited for the festive season. And
Last week. Go ahead.
where I live, there are so many cats, so many cats. And whenever I arrive at home, I would find cats following me. They just follow me and just rub themselves against me. But surprisingly, when others they come near, they run away. I don't know what's going on with those cats. Yeah.
They know. Last week, Melissa was in. There's a slave graveyard in town. From hundreds of years ago. Um, well, not that long ago. But they stole. You know, the folks after in the subsequent generation stole all the headstones, right? So it's just a park that we know was a slave graveyard, and they tried to figure out some people that were there, and but they can't really figure out that many. Um, but she was there, so it's this beautiful park in the middle of town, right? Um, and she ran across a albino deer. Just pure white with just a little bit of, pink eyes and pink nostrils amongst all the other deer. It just looked like a unicorn, just completely otherworldly.
Yeah, that's very rare.
It is very rare. And you know, lore is that if it appears to you, then that's some sort of symbol of change or uniqueness or something.
Yeah.
So she saw it. I didn't see it. I just got to see her picture.
But you are one.
Yep, we are one. We are one. More than most, we are one. Entangled. We are entangled.
Do sometimes same thoughts come up, like the thoughts that usually come up, they also come up. Uh,
Yep.
from,
Yeah, that
beautiful,
happened for sure. Yeah.
beautiful. Have you seen an albino lion?
I've seen so few lions, period. You know, I think I've seen an albino tiger. Or maybe it's just a white tiger. I probably just saw a white tiger. Yeah,
Mm.
in a zoo. Have you ever been somewhere where you can see lions that are just being lions and not like in captivity?
No, no. Actually, I've seen them from the museum, and they're on display. The ones that are not alive.
Right. That doesn't really count. But there's parks, right? There's special parks where they've wildlife parks where you can go to. Probably not too far from Durban, where
Yeah, there are parks. There are such parks, but I think they are very far from where I live. They
I
are
see.
very far. Yeah. The closest one here around Durban, that one has some toys.
I don't know what that is.
They call it. They also call it turtle. Turtle.
Turtle,
Turtle. Yeah.
maybe a tortoise. Big ones?
Yeah. Very big.
Yeah,
There is. I saw when I went there. When I was there, I saw the one that is 250 years old. Very
yeah,
huge. And
yeah. I've seen some of those. That's really amazing. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And some uh, rabbits. There were rabbits there, birds, different kinds of birds, and some crocodiles as well. But those small ones, yeah, not those huge ones, no. And some colorful birds with beautiful colors, you know, very beautiful, very bright, like shiny birds. But I don't know their names, you know. Yeah.
Sometimes in America, rich people like to have exotic pets, exotic birds as pets, right? And in some environments, like in California or Florida, if they get out, they're okay. They can survive. So you end up having, like, especially Florida, like anything can live in Florida for some reason. You just have all of these exotic birds that are now wild that have escaped from pets from the Caribbean or Africa or whatever.
Uh,
Yeah.
so they would like carry them around, or they just keep them where they are.
No, I'm saying that once they escape into the wild, they become wild birds. They
Oh,
replicate and yeah. So like where I lived in Long Beach, there was tons of parrots, swarms, hundreds, loud parrots.
wow. That's
You know,
very rare around here.
yeah. Well, I mean, they've came from wherever, right? But they were brought into Southern California. The lore is they escaped in a wildfire, a pet shop burned down, and they escaped from that somehow. And there's hundreds of
Mm.
them. And sometimes I would look out my window when I was talking to you, and there would be a parrot this big looking back at me.
Does it say anything? I heard that they can talk.
They don't. I mean, they have to be taught to talk.
Oh yeah.
So usually they just scream. A really annoying scream.
And when they scream, I've seen them. I've noticed that they make a certain movement, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They will do that. Yeah, I saw an albino. I don't know if I told you this story, but one time I saw an albino parrot. And sometimes albinos are kicked out of the clan, right? The species. So the albino parrot was hanging out with the black crows, right? On this telephone wire. And the crows were like, caw, caw. And the albino parrot was like, quack, quack. imitating the crows,
trying to fit in.
trying to fit in. I felt kinship with that parrot. It's a nice metaphor for society, I think.
Yeah. I wonder what the crows were saying when they were looking at the crow.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Crows are very smart. They're suspiciously smart. They've done studies, with crows. Not only like they can make tools and stuff, like if you put a food in a bottle, they'll figure out a way to like go get a stick or something and make a tool to try to get out whatever the food is. But they
Wow.
did this study. Pardon? Oh yeah, it's crazy. But they did this study once at Stanford University where they were trying to figure out if crows um, could recognize people and hold a grudge. So they had, they do these studies at universities. They have students come in, and some students were nice to the crows or whatever, and then some students were mean to the crows, you know, didn't give it its food. I don't know what they did, or shocked it or something. Um, and sure enough, the crows recognized people, but they were students, right? So after the research was over, going around campus, the crows had grudges against the people that were into the crows. And the story is that even like, some of these kids went on to graduate and then come back as alumni years later. And crows would still give them a hard time on campus. So the theory is that maybe even crows could talk to each other and have some sort of group grudge against they like dive bomb these kids.
Oh, they were even able to they were even able to recognize them
Yes.
years later. Oh wow.
But maybe not even the same crow. That the crows were able to communicate. That's the one.
The one wearing blue jeans.
Yeah. I mean, it may be it's completely crazy, just baffled scientists, right? We're making this simple story and then a simple study, and then it cascades into this like finding they have no idea how to explain, right? And these poor kids, are being harassed by the crows, keep on coming back to the researchers. Get these crows off me. It's funny.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I guess they are very intelligent.
Yeah, crows especially are super, super smart birds. And their brains are like this big. you know. So something else is going on there, right?
Yeah. They say dynamites come in small packages.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. What is the brain? You know, what is memory? How is memory restored? How is it retrieved? It doesn't really make any sense because, if I've got a memory, like let's say I try to remember my first grade teacher's name, right?
Yeah.
Where do I look for it? You know, and I'd have to remember where I put the address to look for it. You know what I mean? There's this information, but before I get that information, I'd have to think about where to find the pointer to that information, right? It's like on a computer, and the computer, it's all organized, right? You've got, you know, Nkoshi's phone number is stuck in some sort of place, and there's a pointer that says, go look in this place for his phone number. The mind, where are those pointers, right?
Yeah.
Where are the pointers for the crow? It's not in the brain, you know. There's some sort of other medium for it.
Yeah, what I can say about that, uh, through my seeking years, when there was an intense seeking going on here. Sometimes I think I've told you before. There would be an out of the body. They call it out of the body experience.
Yeah.
So there would be a recognition there that even the memory is retained even when the body is left behind. I could still remember everything I've learned because around those years I would be interested in trying uh, to to do OBE intentionally, not the one that happens when there is illicit dreaming, but the one that's just you can do it intentionally and make it happen. So I would do that, and what I discovered is that the memory is retained even when the body is left behind. Because I can still remember what's going on, my aunties, the things I've learned. So the memory is not in the brain, according to that experience. It's I know it's just floating. It's just floating by. I don't know. Because
Feels more like
there's
music. I mean, it feels like music. Like there's some sort of like a CD record. I don't know, like a vinyl record has got a pattern that it plays in order to make music. Memory is more like some sort of physical. I don't know if it's like physical space or whatever, but some sort of recording of vibrations, that you can tune into. It's almost like tuning into a vibration is memory, rather more than finding a physical object somewhere. And whatever we're tuning into is not actually in here, but some sort of medium that we don't understand yet. You know?
Yeah, I think that's the good way to put it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah. Because when the body is left behind, there's, you know, there's still that's during those days that there will still be that sense of being just somebody, but the body will not be seen. You can't see anything, but you are still yourself, but you can't see yourself. So it's just beyond any description. You can't
Yeah.
describe what that is.
There's a word for that. I think I can't remember. There's a word for that idea that somehow it's like a memory cloud in space of what people have got names for it. That's sort of a recording of everything that's happened that becomes some sort of thing that can be tapped into. You know, that's separate from the life that taps into it.
A certain frequency, you tap into a certain frequency.
I don't know. I don't know. I know there's a name for it, but it seems like that's the only way to explain whatever's going on with those crows. You know, that they've got some sort of shared memory space that they're able to tap into. You know,
And that also happens between the very or the lovers, people who are in love, who love each
yeah,
other, man and a woman, when they have been together for a couple of years, they share the same thoughts. When the other thinks, apparently thinks about the other, then suddenly takes a call, just give her a call, and then the other one is surprised. Wow, how did you know that I was thinking about you? So
yeah,
that usually happens when couples are very much in love with each other and they've spent so many years together. And that will be the case of the crows. You know, as we are saying, they tap into that.
yeah. Because it's not those tiny little brains they got.
Yeah, I think those ones they actually help them to locate the food. You know, if they wanna pee, should go to pee. They wanna, you know, I don't know, whatever they do.
Yeah, instinctive stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, basic stuff. Just like this one. This one helps to feed the body, to take care of the body. You know. But there are things this brain can never do. It only deals with the basic stuff, going to the loo, looking for something to eat, going there to provide, to make money, to do whatever, just to take care of the body.
Yeah, my job is very complicated. And I give my brain to my job. In 5 minutes, I'll hang up on the phone here, and then my brain will just go and be given to the day of all the things I must do and get done, and they'll just be automatic stuff and notes, pages of notes, and
Yeah.
intricate puzzles. Just hand it over and experience it.
Yeah, but you know, even when it seems to do that, the self, or should I say the higher self, that's which you are, that is higher, is always there to assist, to put certain thoughts, you know, to come up with some ideas, to, you know, to fix this and that. It's always there. When it's happened to that, and it seems what flows freely, you know, everything is done perfectly. Even what seems to be the effort is effortless in a way.
Yep.
Yeah, it's quite a good idea just before you start working or whatever that you have to do, just to be in that space, you know, of no thoughts, no thoughts. Maybe take 10 minutes to 15 minutes just before you start working, then empty your mind for a couple of minutes and then you start working. I think that will also improve the quality of your work, and some ideas that I knew will start to flow in as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, I usually meditate in the morning before I come to work. That helps. Being intentional like that. Yeah.
It's beautiful. I don't know. Next time we meet, how about if we start by doing some guided meditation? Do those,
Sure.
yeah, and then I don't know. It's coming up right now.
Yeah, next week when we meet, it will be before I give a couple presentations. So that might help.
Oh, beautiful.
I will be in I'll be in DC in a hotel room. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So are we gonna do? Are we gonna do it for an hour, or are you gonna take 30 minutes, or I don't know.
I can probably do it for an hour, but I might have to do it an hour earlier. I don't know. I have to check my schedule, but I like to do it for an hour. So I'll see if I can make time. Yeah.
Okay, I'll be available next week. I
Okay.
think I'll bring the letter. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Nkosi, I'll let you go. Thank you. Let me know how things turn out with your auntie.
Okay, I'll let you. I'll keep you posted.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.